action for you. 7 Action News at 10 starts right now.
Right now, police are trying to track down a group of thieves accused of robbing a man at gunpoint.
It happened at a Holiday Inn on Hall Road and Gratiot in Chesterfield Township.
Action News reporter Bethany Moore spoke to the victim. Bethany, does he have any idea who did this?
No, he says that he doesn't know this person at all, and right now they're just very shaken up after having a gun pointed in their face, and they have a lot of questions for the Holiday Inn. Isel McElroy still feels like his life is flashing before his eyes.
Man, you know how I feel to have a gun? He probably don't, but this is my first experience, and I'm just like, wow.
He's visiting from Atlanta. Today around 5:30, he and his friends came back to his hotel room at the Holiday Inn off Hall and Gratiot.
We get to the room, boom, we see the door closing.
He said they pushed the door open, and that's when they saw someone inside.
The door just whips open, and he just has a gun right in front of our face, like, where's at?
Isel says a man he's never seen before was pointing the gun directly at him, and that's when adrenaline kicked in.
It was a dude who came from the back with a gun, like, pointing at us, like, So my boys take off running. I had to, I hit him. He was like this, and then we all took off running.
His friends all ran and say there was another suspect in the hall that they tussled with.
Guy was right behind me. I'm just looking, like I'm just keep jumping the stairs. I just keep seeing the guy like right behind me. So my main thing is just like get out of here.
They were able to get away and hide. Chesterfield police say those suspects got away, but they are investigating what happened today, including the biggest question on Isel's mind.
The question is, the real question is, how did they get in?
Right now, he's just thankful because he knows this could have ended much differently.
I'm just blessed, you know, just thinking like, I'm glad he didn't pull that trigger.
The Chesterfield police say they are investigating every aspect of this, including how those suspects got into the room. No description of those suspects yet. Reporting live, Bethany Moore, 7 Action News.
Thanks, Bethany. Now, the chance for wet weather could put a damper on your Labor Day weekend plans.
7 First Alert meteorologist Hallie Vogel is here tracking storms. Hallie, what's the timeline here and any chance of these storms turning severe?
It does not look like we're dealing with severe weather here, but to the north and west, a different story as those storms are stronger in that direction. Now tomorrow, don't cancel your plans for Labor Day. Please don't do that, but just be aware that we are looking at spotty showers and storms as we go through our Monday. But we'll time things out for you in a few moments. Looking at those storms off to the north and west, a lot of lightning, heavy downpours. The main threat with any storm here in the next 24 hours will be heavy rain for us here at home. But notice where that line is extending through Gaylord all the way down into parts of the central portions of Lake Michigan. But it is moving off to the north and east. So for us overnight, there is that slight chance we could see a passing shower or storm. But most of that heavy activity will stay back to our west and even off to the north. 80 degrees still downtown. It's a warm one. 75 in Mount Clemens. Our temperatures stay hot during the day, warm and sticky at night. And this unsettled weather pattern, it does stick around as well. We'll time out those storm chances for your Labor Day in your hour-by-hour forecast coming up.
Thanks, Hallie. At number 3 in Detroit, police are on the hunt to find armed robbers involved in 2 carjackings.
They were reported at a gas station and an apartment complex on the city's east side.
That's right. We spoke to one of the victims who says he's still in shock about what happened.
I got out my car halfway up this hill right here, and that's when I saw the 2 guys running. One pulled out his gun, put it to my head, told me to get on the ground, don't scream, don't say anything, or we'll shoot.
Saturday afternoon around 3, surveillance video catches a red SUV parking in this lot on Antietam. Seconds later, Damon Pina Bell gets out of his vehicle, walking up to the complex. 2 men jump out of the red SUV and chase Damon down, holding him at gunpoint. They take his food, wallet, and car keys before getting in his vehicle and driving off.
I literally thought I was going to be shot. I was just thinking to myself, if I'm shot, do I have enough time to run to get help? I was thinking about my family and what it would do to them when they found out.
A similar situation. Around 6 Thursday morning, police say a woman was getting gas on East 8 Mile near Gratiot when 2 men approached her. Surveillance video shows one of them pulling her away from the car. As she tries to get back inside, the second man is already driving off with her vehicle. Police don't believe the 2 carjackings are related.
They just took it for granted. They don't care. They just want whatever they can get fast. It happened really fast. But for me, being on the ground looking into a barrel felt like forever.
Police are now offering a $2,000 reward for information leading to an arrest.
At number 4, family and friends gathered tonight to mourn a father who was killed in a crash after his birthday celebration. A vigil was held near 7 Mile and Whittingham Drive, where Antonio Brady was killed overnight. His car hit a parked van and then slammed into a tree. Brady's fiance was rushed to the hospital with broken ribs.
I mean, the details of the car, the wheel being popped and everything, we waiting for the investigators to let us know more information.
Investigators believe Brady blew out a tire. His fiance is expected to be okay. At number 5, starting Tuesday, the Michigan Infrastructure and Transportation Association plans to lay off union road workers across the state. That could impact major road projects, including the bridge repair work on I-75 road and bridge reconstruction on I-96 and road reconstruction and maintenance on I-696. Last Thursday, MITA sent out a letter to Operating Engineers 324. The letter stated that the layoffs would go in effect at 7 a.m. Tuesday. We're learning workers haven't had a contract since June.
At number 6, Labor Day weekend gas prices are the highest we've seen in 4 years. The average cost for a gallon of unleaded in the U.S. is $2.83. This year's price hike is influenced by the cost of oil. In fact, prices at the pump are 43 cents per gallon higher than the same time last year. At number 7, police are searching for a gunman who shot a man in the neck. It happened early yesterday morning near 7 Mile and Hayden on Detroit's west side. The victim told police he heard shots fired and felt pain. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. If you have any information about this shooting, please contact Detroit police right away.
And at number 8, a worried family is asking for your help to find a missing man who has schizophrenia. 65-year-old Johnny Lawson, right there on your screen, was last seen yesterday in the 900 block of East Grand Boulevard. We're told he has gone missing in the past but returns on his own. Johnny has a noticeable large lump on his forehead. If you see him or know where he is, please call Detroit police.
At number 9, the world is saying goodbye to an American hero. Senator John McCain laid to rest this afternoon.
That's right. This comes after yesterday's moving and emotional service that saw lawmakers on both sides of the political aisle paying tribute. Here's ABC's Chuck Siverston with the latest.
Pilots flying the missing man formation in honor of their fellow aviator. Senator John McCain laid to rest Sunday afternoon at his alma mater, the U.S. Naval Academy. His funeral service on Saturday, a touching tribute, but also a call for a politically divided nation to come together.
So much of our politics can seem small and mean and petty. John called on us to be bigger than that. He called on us to be better than that.
McCain's daughter Megan, in an impassioned speech, offering a sharp rebuke of President Trump.
The America of John McCain has no need to be made great again because America was always great.
The president, noticeably absent from the service, uninvited by the McCain family.
The president of the United States, no matter who that person is always in the elephant in the room when they're not there.
President Trump instead spending the day golfing. A small group of demonstrators outside the White House as he left for his club in Virginia, holding signs that read, "You, Trump, are no John McCain." Throughout the day, the president firing off a dozen tweets attacking the media, the Department of Justice, the FBI, the Russia investigation, as well as the souring negotiations with Canada on the NAFTA deal. This as the president prepares for a battle on Capitol Hill this week as confirmation hearings begin Tuesday for his Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh. Chuck Sivertson, ABC News, New York.
Rounding out the top 10, a mother and daughter hoping to add a four-legged friend to their family are outraged with a pet store. Lisa Olmstead spent over $1,300, she says, to pick up her puppy named Leo from Shaggy Dog Puppies and Supplies in Shelby Township. Now the dog was a gift for her daughter Jackie. Lisa says when she tried getting a hold of the store to pick up that dog, they told her that she could not because the dog was sick. Well, later she found out the store was temporarily closed because of an investigation. Macomb County Animal Control and the state of Michigan say the store has not been providing veterinary care for their pets.
Now that I know it's sick, it's kind of like even more sadder. because I don't know if I'll ever be able to see it again.
We just couldn't believe people would be this dishonest and be so heartless with dogs. They just are such sweet animals, and we were shocked.
Now, Animal Control says they've received several complaints, and the store isn't allowed to sell any pets until further notice. Still ahead tonight on 7 Action News at 10, we have a warning for people who donate to Goodwill, why your personal information may be at risk.
Plus, a man's joyride in a stolen vehicle came to a crashing halt when he was driving that led police on a chase for miles.
And next, severe weather being felt on the east and west coasts, how it's claiming lives, and what this could mean for your Labor Day weekend travel. At least one person is dead and another is missing in Maryland after heavy rain and flooding. Police say they've recovered the body of 67-year-old Daniel Samis northeast of Baltimore Saturday. That's after he became stranded on a bridge because of high water. Officers say a woman tried to help the man, but she was swept away in rushing water. Samis' car went off the bridge not long after that. Police are still trying to find the woman who was swept away.
And as many across the country are reeling from a stormy Labor Day weekend now, a new threat may be on the way. ABC's Maggie Ruley has the latest.
Severe weather is tearing through the heartland and soaking the east, smack in the middle of the holiday weekend. This massive storm is hovering over parts of Michigan. Tornado warnings issued across the state. In Kansas, gusty winds hit 65 miles per hour and heavy rains pounded parts of the state. Wisconsin, the ground already saturated, is now getting hit with even more.
We have this tree in the back of our yard that we're not so sure about because it's like 200 years old, so we're kind of worried that it might fall on our house.
The storm's postponing several college football games across the country during the first week of the season. In Lincoln, Nebraska, a fan snapped this dramatic picture of the sky lighting up over the stadium, suspending the game between the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the University of Akron. And Ohio State's game against Oregon delayed. On the East Coast, flooded roads in Pennsylvania left many stranded.
Don't know how long it's going to take for people to get it fixed, that's for sure. It's going to take a while. Like some of these people, they're not going to be able to get out of their houses for who knows how long.
And downpours in Maryland left many near Baltimore begging for the rain to just go away. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
And Hallie, things have been much calmer here for us in this area, but we're still feeling that hot, sticky weather, right?
No, we hit 90 again today, so we're really kind of dragging on this late summer heat, and we have 3 more days to get through with temperatures near, if not even touching 90 degrees. So 90 our high today, 79 is what we average. So we look how above we are as far as those temperatures are concerned. We started at 72. That is certainly warm when we see an average for the beginning of September as 60 degrees. So we start to tally how many 90-degree days we've had. 90 degrees or hotter, 22 days so far this year. 12 is average, and last year we only had 7, so what a difference. And with the heat, the humidity, slow-moving fronts, we get these storms that have been coming and going, rounds of wet weather. A lot of the heavy action has been back to our west and north, and that's what we're seeing right now. You can see all that lightning crossing Lake Michigan right now, just near and north of Grand Rapids. So we'll watch that line. At this point, it looks like it's going to stay off to the north and west, and maybe just a slight chance for a few showers here at home. 80 degrees downtown, 81 in Pontiac. It is 75 in Port Huron, Mount Clemens, but it feels so much warmer. We talk about dew points, and we talk about it because it's how much moisture the atmosphere is holding, but also it tells you whether you're going to be comfortable or not. So the higher the number is, likely the more uncomfortable you're going to feel. And with dew points near 70 through Thursday, it's going to be that tropical feel to the air. So we really don't see a pattern change until the end of the week. So a couple fronts lining up. You see out ahead of this next trough, that line of storms extending from Michigan all the way down into parts of Missouri, even near Kansas City. This starts to move off to the north and east. As it breaks down overnight, a few of these showers certainly could wander in, an isolated thunderstorm, but the heat does stay. So our high 90 today, low 90s in Chicago. Much more of the same here from tomorrow through Wednesday. Hour by hour forecast shows those storms to the west, and you can see just maybe a few spots to the west, not much here at home as far as rain goes tomorrow morning. Maybe a slight chance, but it's tomorrow afternoon we'll be watching too, with the line developing. That front that we watch just gets hung up over the next couple of days, and since it doesn't want to move through, we stay in this really hot, sticky air mass, and we see these pop-up showers and storms that develop during the afternoon because it is so hot and humid. That's exactly what we'll see for tomorrow. So it's not one of those days you're going to necessarily cancel your plans, but you're going to be aware of it. And then another round, and we've been seeing this too, that develop late in the day or night and then carry us into the morning hours with some dry time in between. We have this pattern going for several days. You'll see it on 7-day. 73 for a low tonight. That is warm. That is muggy. 89, so near 90 for tomorrow. And there it is through Wednesday. A lot of kids heading back to school on Tuesday too. It's going to be a tough go trying to get them in the classroom with temperatures near 90. And then by the end of the week, 70s, less humid, but keeping the rain chances very unsettled through most of the week. Just make sure you stay on top of it, especially tomorrow. Put this on your phone. It's our free 7 app. That way you can look at the radar from time to time, see where those storms are, if you're going to have to move things indoors or not, but also get a look at that 7-day, because that temperature drop, you're going to notice it from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to the end of the week, certainly.
In the meantime, lots of cold water, right?
Yes, absolutely. We always say that, especially the kids when they're at recess and stuff. You want to stay hydrated.
I was going to bring that up because we both have kids, so we know how it is.
They come in with those little red faces and you go, all right, drink, drink, drink. There you go. Yep, exactly.
Thanks, Hallie.
Sure.
Well, coming up on Action News at 10, a woman is using a cane to get around after what happened to her as she was cleaning out her garage. What she came in contact with that landed her in the hospital for days.
And next, why the father of a murdered Iowa student is sounding an alarm about the way his daughter's death is being politicized in the media. Next. The father of a murdered Iowa student is speaking out about his daughter's death. 20-year-old Molly Tibbetts disappeared in July during an evening jog. Investigators found her body in a cornfield. The man accused of killing her is Christian Rivera, an undocumented immigrant. Molly's dad says he doesn't like how her death is being used to make arguments in the media about immigration reform. He says he doesn't want his daughter's death to be exploited to promote what he's calling a racist agenda.
One of the victims of the deadly shooting at a Madden video game tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, will be laid to rest today. The viewing for Taylor Robertson was held Saturday in his hometown of Monroe County, West Virginia. It was held inside the high school where Robertson graduated from back in 2009 as a standout football and basketball player. The 27-year-old was one of 2 people shot to death last weekend when a lone gunman opened fire after being eliminated from the competition. The suspect was later found dead after turning his weapon on himself.
Take a look at this unusual police chase caught on camera on Saturday in New Mexico. Albuquerque police saying that it started after a man stole an ambulance from a local hospital. The chase then ended after about 20 minutes when officers used spikes to disable the rig's front tires. Police say the driver, 40-year-old David Neher, has an extensive arrest history. He's been booked 3 times so far this year and now faces felony charges for stealing the ambulance. Well, it's not often you hear about snakes in Metro Detroit, but there's one poisonous snake that is native to Michigan.
Well, a woman in Pinckney found that out the hard way. Action News reporter Alan Campbell has her road to recovery.
Laura Bowen says she was cleaning out her garage, carrying rakes down this walkway here. She says she didn't see the rattlesnake laying right here, but almost immediately felt the burning sensation after it bit her.
It was like bee sting times 10. It was instant fry.
61-year-old Laura Bowen is slowly recovering after she was bit by a rattlesnake.
Took a couple shudder steps and looked back, and it was a huge snake.
It happened around 12:30 on August 20th.
I kept telling myself, don't overreact, because it's probably just a garden snake or something.
The bite happened so fast, the excruciating pain almost instant.
It's like acid burn pain.
Bowen says she took a picture of the snake after the bite. Emergency responders immediately recognized it as an eastern Mississauga rattlesnake.
That was the best thing that I did, was to take that photo so they could identify it and know what they were treating.
She spent 4 days in the hospital, received 10 vials of anti-venom. She still plays that day in her head over and over again, and is thankful everything is going to be okay.
I think I'm going to buy some garden boots, the rubber ones that are clunky, and yeah, definitely rethinking my garden attire.
Currently, Bowen is using a cane to get around, but tells me she should be able to walk on her own in about a week or so. She also tells me she has 2 more visits with the doctors just to make sure everything is healing all right. Reporting in Pinckney, I'm Alan Campbell, 7 Action News.
Alan, thank you. Still to come tonight in our next half hour. If you donate to Goodwill, you may be a target actually for thieves. How they're taking advantage of your generosity.
Plus, dangerous drugs may be finding their way into the foods you eat. What a new consumer report is saying about what's lurking in your meat.
And next, holiday crackdown, what police are looking out for this Labor Day weekend.
And the wet weather may be sticking around a little while longer. First Alert meteorologist Hallie Vogel has a look at your Labor Day forecast. You're watching 7 Action News at 10 on TV 20 Detroit.
action for you. You're watching 7 Action News at 10.
Labor Day weekend is the unofficial end of summer and one of the busiest weekends in Metro Detroit.
And law enforcement across the state are stepping up patrols.
7 Action News reporter Jennifer Ann Wilson has more on what police are looking for.
Whether you're hitting the freeways and heading out of town or staying right here and attending a local event like Arts, Beats, and Eats, police across the state are working overtime to make sure your Labor Day weekend is safe and fun. It's a holiday weekend people of all ages look forward to.
I will ride and bounce houses together.
For the McHenry family, it's an annual tradition.
It's Arts, Beats, and Eats, and we do it every year, and we hit the Sizzler, and we hit the bounce houses.
For Royal Oak Police, ensuring safety is priority number one.
Not only inside the festival, but also outside the festival and citywide.
Lieutenant Keith Spencer says they're on high alert for any disorderly behavior, including excessive alcohol consumption.
When you get into a festival such as this, you have people not only in other vehicles, but you have people on bicycles, you have people walking around. This becomes a very congested area.
If you get behind the wheel, you need to be sober and paying attention. If you're not, Lieutenant Spencer says they'll be watching for the many telltale signs.
Running lights, excessive speeds, failing to yield the right of way to when it's appropriate. Driving the wrong way down a one-way street.
Over Labor Day weekend last year, Michigan State Police say there were 10 fatal crashes across the state that resulted in 15 deaths. This year, along with 150 local police agencies, MSP is joining the national initiative called CARE to focus on deterring the 3 main causes of traffic fatalities: aggressive driving, impaired driving, and not wearing a seatbelt. So expect to see extra patrols wherever you celebrate until the end of the day on Monday. And some final weekend safety tips.
General courteousness and patience, besides common sense, are going to be paramount on any weekend, but especially Labor Day weekend.
Bottom line, obey the law, use common sense, and be aware of your surroundings. Reporting in Royal Oak, Jennifer Ann Wilson, 7 Action News.
Lowering the speed limit in neighborhoods may actually make people speed less. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety just did a study in Boston. It found lowering the speed limit from 30 to just 25 miles an hour actually reduced the odds that a driver would speed. The study did not, however, look at how lower speed limits impacted crashes. That is what researchers hope to do next.
The FDA is warning about those trendy liquid nitrogen ice cream stands you might find at the mall. Even though liquid nitrogen is not toxic, it can hurt or damage your skin because it's so cold. It can also impact your internal organs. Inhaling the vapor can also make it harder to breathe, especially if you have asthma. The snacks are called things like dragon's breath or heaven's breath. If you've had some and think they've made you sick, the FDA wants to hear about it. The FDA says it's still trying to fully understand how liquid nitrogen impacts people. Everything from antibiotics to antidepressants are being found in our beef, poultry, and pork.
Now a new Consumer Reports investigation is raising serious questions about how the drugs got there and why a federal agency is not doing more about it.
Action News anchor Glenda Lewis has a look at how they're sounding the alarm so you don't waste your money.
Food scientists at Consumer Reports analyzed government data from nearly 6,000 samples of meat collected over an 11-month period from 2015 to 2016.
What was explosive is immediately seeing these drugs, which were never approved for use in food animals, because they're highly hazardous, still showing up in the food supply. It was sort of stunning.
Drugs like chloramphenicol, an antibiotic linked to potentially deadly anemia, and ketamine, an hallucinogenic party drug, an antidepressant, among others. All of them banned or severely restricted drugs, yet trace amounts have shown up in meat samples, and no one, including the USDA or FDA, seems to know exactly how they're getting into the meat supply.
They should have found out why these things are showing up in dozens and dozens of samples of meat and poultry. It can't just be an accident.
So why isn't the government doing more about it? The chief scientist for the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service tells Consumer Reports that essentially the data were what they call unconfirmed screening tests, so no further action from the USDA was required. None of this surprises Will Harris, owner of White Oak Pastures, an organic farm in Georgia. He blames decades of industrialized farming and shoppers' demands for cheap food for why this could be happening.
And I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but you told me that
these prohibited drugs have been found in samples of meat. And I guess that would be pretty proof positive that somebody somewhere wasn't doing what they're supposed to do.
Since it's unclear what, if any, health effects result from eating meat and poultry containing drug residues, Consumer Reports says you don't have to eliminate it from your diet, but perhaps think about reducing the amount you eat or making different choices at the market.
Thank you, Glenda. Consumer Reports says organic and grass-fed meats might contain less drug residue or none at all, since there are stricter regulations on those products, although there's not enough information yet to know for sure. And Goodwill stores around the country are warning people about thieves trying to steal your identity. Employees have found sensitive documents, often with personal information, accidentally left in donations. Fortunately, they normally keep sensitive info locked away in a room. But experts say they should not rely on the store to safely dispose of your info. Your best bet is to go through your items before you donate them and just make sure that everything is good to go.
Next, a special journey across Lake Michigan, hitting close to home for one man in Holland.
He'll fill us in on his important endeavor and what you can do to help. On Tuesday, a Michigan man will swim 20 miles to honor his mom and help others who are battling breast cancer.
But this journey will be in the open waters of Lake Michigan.
7 Action News reporter Anu Prakash talked to the man about this grueling endeavor and how you can help.
Nick Hobson has been swimming for as long as he can remember, but now he's getting ready for a journey unlike any other, swimming 20 miles up Lake Michigan.
I've been training 10 to 15 miles a week in the pool and the lake for at least the last 3 months at least.
Hobson, who lives in Holland, will start there and swim to Grand Haven. The inspiration, his mom, who was diagnosed with breast cancer when he was a kid.
Witnessed firsthand the impact that that disease has on not only the individual, but obviously also my dad and the family and the stress that we were under at the time, which when I was younger I probably didn't fully appreciate, but now I'm older with a family of my own, I've got much greater appreciation for the impact and the things that can happen. And luckily, my mom's still with us.
Hobson is swimming to raise money for the Pink Fund, a nonprofit that helps with financial support for those battling breast cancer as they undergo treatment. It's based in Rochester Hills but serves people around the country. Molly MacDonald started it after dealing with that financial burden herself. She's a breast cancer survivor too.
The home went into foreclosure. Ford Credit was kind enough to extend my lease by 8 months, but my payment was late for 58 days for 8 months. And I ended up in line at a local food bank to feed my children when everybody stopped delivering all those pans of lasagna that they bring by when you're sick.
She's grateful for the way Nick is reaching out to help.
When you think about any kind of long-term treatment protocol, particularly for cancer, it's an endurance race, right? It's not a marathon. And it takes patience and self-discipline. And you have to realize that, you may be in treatment for a year to 18 months. And that's what this is, to swim 20 miles. That's a long way.
Nick is an experienced open water swimmer, but the longest distance he's gone is 7.5 miles. On Tuesday, there will be safety boats nearby, but he won't be supported by a wetsuit, flippers, or anything that floats. He'll have liquid food every hour, and during breaks, he'll be treading water, a grueling journey fueled by a desire to help.
One of my friends summarized it with that little clip from Finding Dory, where Dory's just going, just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Nick has a goal of raising $5,000 for the Pink Fund. If you'd like to donate or track his swim, we have a link on our website, WXYZ.com. I'm Anu Prakash, 7 Action News.
Coming up, the Wolverines return home after a disappointing loss to Notre Dame.
We've got reaction from the players and the fan base on what's next. Justin Rose explains just ahead in sports. But first, here's Hallie.
The big heat, the big humidity, it all sticks around. A chance for more storms, too. It's all in your 10-day forecast. We did hit 90 degrees once again, so 22 days so far this year of 90-degree temperatures or hotter. You look to the north, 84 in Traverse City, 70s in the Upper Peninsula. So what a contrast from north to south. Looking at those storms to the north and west of us, a lot of lightning, some very heavy rain. Any storm we get here, and this is from tonight through the day tomorrow, the main threat is going to be very heavy rain simply because of the high humidity too. So a lot of moisture available out there. 80 degrees still downtown with the low in the low 70s. We're talking anywhere from 70 to about 73 degrees for overnight lows. Novi, you're at 77, 81 still in Royal Oak, and upper 70s in Ann Arbor. So the next few hours, you notice where the temperatures are going almost stationary from the low 80s to upper 70s. After midnight, it is warm, it is sticky, and this is the pattern we stay in. And we're going to stay in this pattern all the way into about Wednesday or Thursday. So several more days of temperatures close to 90 degrees. Area of low pressure back to the west. It's a slow mover. What happens is this cold front really does get hung up as a stationary front over lower Michigan in the days ahead. So we can't break through this pattern, but we can see these rounds of showers and storms. And that's likely what we're going to see from time to time. We get the heating of the day, we get scattered showers and storms, and then we see a batch come through in the overnight. So these rounds with dry time in between. But the problem is if you are going to be outdoors for any length of time, you're likely going to have to bring some of that fun indoors for a short period of time. The marginal risk, meaning the better chance for an isolated severe storm overnight, is to our north and west, just south of Traverse City, including Cadillac, and then just near and north of Grand Rapids. So certainly not for us, but you notice how strong that line is. What happens is it makes a little bit of eastward progression and it sort of falls apart just simply because of the time of day. At night, just can't support that instability. I do think we'll squeeze out a few showers and isolated thunderstorm, best chance north of the city, and that carries us through tomorrow morning. And by the afternoon, we start to see more of this kind of bubbling up with the heat of the day in spots. It's not going to be real widespread, but if you do get caught under one of these storms, again, it's going to be the heavy rain and likely some lightning too. And then by 8, 9 o'clock, you start to see the next area of low pressure come a little bit closer, the next round come in, and it looks like that's going to bring in some of those showers once again tomorrow night into early Tuesday morning. So temperatures tonight, we're down to 73. That's a warm one overnight. Your Labor Day holiday starts with a few of those showers from time to time. I think the early afternoon does look dry, maybe say 10 to about 1 o'clock, and then we start to see the chance for a few storms popping up with temperatures right around 90, and we stay there till Wednesday. And then finally, the entire system just sort of pushes on through, and as it does, it'll drop our temperatures, it'll lower the humidity by the end of the week, and those temperatures in the 70s, and that's a 10-day forecast. Temperatures go from well above to start to actually below by the end of that 10-day forecast. So just make sure you stay on top of it, and a good way to do it is just get our free mobile app. That way you can look at the radar if you're out and about. If you're not near your TV, you can certainly get any alerts as well, and get a 7-day forecast so you can plan your week ahead. Justin?